you're sending to summer camp that can make that shot, because that's a hard shot to make. The boat gets smaller and smaller the further away it gets, and if they miss, that's not a Viking funeral anymore. That's just a dead guy in a boat. And that is not as festive, is it? That's Stand By Me too. I'd like to be cremated, personally, because that's why we're in therapy. People are scared to go to therapy because they think it's someone sitting in a chair going, you suck. But it's not. It's you in a chair going, I suck. And then your therapist is like, that's great. Let's start there. Therapy just helps to get to the bottom of why you're trash, okay? You go into therapy and you're like, here's all the stuff that sucks about me. And she goes, okay. And she puts it all up on the wall like you're solving a crime together. Fun! And then she gets some of that red string that detectives use at home when they've been thrown off the case for going rogue. And she starts connecting each crappy thing about you to each one of your corresponding childhood traumas. And you're like, oh my God, that's why I'm like this. And she's like, that's why you're like this. And you're like, am I fixed now? And she's like, God, no. No. You're like, well, what do I do now? She's like, well, you keep coming back in here every week with your credit card. And you're like, what? Well, will I ever be fixed? She's like, I don't know, bring your credit card. I've got to the bottom of a lot of stuff in therapy. I'm an emotional eater. I don't know if anybody else identifies with that. Cool, 7 people. Everyone else is like, no, we just eat till we're almost full, and then we thank God for the opportunity, okay? Food is just fuel for me. If you're one of those, fuck right off, for real. I'll refund your money. I don't need your support. I'm doing fine. If you don't know what an emotional eater is, it just means you like eat to cope with uncomfortable feelings. So if I'm like sad or anxious or awake, I'd like to be eating to take the edge off. If you still don't know if that's you, you can ask yourself a few questions to find out. Number 1, when you eat nachos in public, do you get kind of mad that other people are there to see it? Do you feel like nachos should come with a privacy curtain? I do. Have all the best meals of your life taken place in your own car around 11 p.m. under a flickering street lamp? Have you ever eaten a brownie while you felt okay and wished you were sad so that it tasted better? Sounds like more than 7 of us. Sleep? You know some kids don't have beds, right? Why don't you go lay face down on the cold tile for 10 minutes, see if you're not more grateful after that? And you know what, DC? I tried it and it works. It totally works. I do it on the bathroom floor in hotel rooms. I've had COVID many times, but I want to get a handle on my anxiety because I know if I didn't have anxiety, I'd be a totally different person. The worrying alone takes up so much mental and emotional energy every day. And it doesn't help. It doesn't prepare you for anything bad happening like you think it will. I told my therapist this recently. I go, I know worrying doesn't do any good, right? I go, what's that one quote by that great philosopher? When you worry, you just suffer twice. She goes, I don't know that one. Who said it? I looked it up. It's from a fucking Harry Potter prequel. I was so confident, I Googled it in front of her. She's like, what philosopher said that? I'm like, Newt Scamander? Shit. I think it was a fortune cookie. Can we just move on? I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Without anxiety, I'd have a totally different personality because so many decisions I make in life are fear-based, or so many decisions I don't make are fear-based. I watch the same shows and movies over and over because it calms me down. I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. I date the same type of person over and over because I know what to expect. It doesn't stress me out. If you think you have a type, you don't. You have anxiety. See someone. I have 3 not as queer in the last couple of years. And, oh, thank you. Thank you. That's really nice of you. Because let me tell you, coming out as bisexual at 30 feels like saying to a waiter, by the way, it's my birthday. They're like, cool, sing to yourself. You're a grown woman. So you're like, excuse me, I was very brave. I just came out. They're like, yeah, but the coast was clear, wasn't it, babe? Like, I would have come out sooner, but I have 3 younger siblings, and they're all queer, and they kept coming out. They just kept popping out like little groundhogs. And every time another one popped out, I was like, well, that's 6 more months of heterosexuality for me, I guess. I was also hesitant to come out as bisexual because there's a stigma around it, right? When you say you're bisexual, a lot of people assume that you are good at sex. And I'm not, guys. And I refuse to get better. All right? I'm not learning any more tricks, okay? I turned 30, I was like, shut it down. As Jesus said, it is finished. I'm hitting save progress. I'm gonna die on this level. But I didn't want to tarnish the brand of bisexuality. I didn't want to bring down the team. I have so many queer friends who are so open and free with their sexualities. It's like, oh, it's so fun. I have so many like Samanthas in my friend group, and they're so fun and inspiring. But I also think we need some gay prude representation as well. Grow up religious. A lot of people grow up sheltered, you know? Round of applause. How many people did not get a sex talk in here? Didn't get one. Round of applause. Oh, yeah, see? All right, now round of applause. Who did get a sex talk growing up? Who did get one? You did right here. Do you mind me asking you how old you were? Is it okay that I'm talking to you? I just want to make sure. If I talk to you and you're not into it, that's completely fine with me. I wouldn't talk to a live entertainer either. Do you consent to crowd work? I need a verbal yes, not just a thumbs up. Yes, see? Not that hard. That's how it's done. All right. All right. How old were you when you got the sex talk? 9. Okay, that seems a little early, but also kind of okay. I don't know how tall you were at 9. Right? Were you asking questions, or were your parents just like, it's time?
My mom took me for a picnic in the garden.
Your mom took you for a picnic in the garden? Fuck you so hard. Are you serious? Your mom took you to a picnic in the garden to tell you the horrors of sex. I'm sorry, I'm having an emotional reaction to that. That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. This secret garden sex talk. Holy shit, okay, wow. What's that like, Lorelai Gilmore? Fuck me. So you weren't asking questions or anything. Your mom was just like, it's time. Oh, you were asking questions. See, a lot of people ask questions, and I didn't realize all these kids were so smart. I didn't know we were supposed to be smarter. I never asked any questions when I was a kid, which is so stupid now that I think about it. Because when I was a kid, before I got my period, I had 3 holes, right? I still do. I don't know why I said it like that. I still do, for the record, just for anybody watching. I'm still always have had, always will have. I mean, I think when you get your tubes tied, do they seal it? Oh, I'm going to Google it. Forget this. This was a tangent. I'll deal with this on my own. But before I got my period, I had 3 holes, and one of the holes wasn't doing anything, right? And I never thought to ask anyone around me, hey, what's this unemployed hole doing between my other 2 holes that are working pretty hard? I just walked around all day like, I don't know, that's my big one. God knows what he's doing. That's where my faith goes. After I saw Music Man, I started calling it my glove compartment, but that is another story. This was my sex talk. So when I was 10, I read what sex was in a book, not planning on it, just kind of like, oh my God, tried to forget. Just assaulted by Judy Blume, quite frankly. And then 2 years later, my dad was driving me home from school, and out of nowhere, he goes, do you know what sex is? And I was like, yeah, Dad, I read in a book. Let's never speak again, right? And he's like, all right, I need you to tell me what it is so I know that you know. My dad made me give him the sex talk. I was like, do you know what it is? He's like, why don't you just tell me what you know, and then I'll tell you what I know. And we'll get to the bottom of this together. I used to ask my parents for relationship advice every time I went through a bad breakup. Don't do that unless you want to learn too much about your parents. I had a terrible breakup in my early 20s, and I remember I was back home. My stepmom was trying to comfort me. She goes, Taylor, there's a guy in my... I used to be a really toxic girlfriend. I've worked on it a lot in therapy over the years. I was a nightmare in my 20s. I was dating a guy once in my 20s, and we were laying on the couch one night, and we weren't fighting, and I thought that was weird. So I turned to him, and I said, hey, babe, if you found out that we were cousins, would you break up with me? And he goes, yes. And I was like, whoa, fast. No follow-up questions. You're just out like that. He goes, it's illegal, Taylor. I'm like, so are mushrooms, and we did those. Now you're this law-abiding citizen just because we're cousins? He goes, you're so wrong about this. Ask anyone we know. So I texted the 3 happiest couples in my phone. And I said, hey, if you two found out you're cousins, you didn't know when you met, you haven't known this whole time you've been together, you have the same relationship you've always had, but whoops, you're cousins. Would you break up? And they all wrote back, do we have to tell anybody? And I showed him my phone and I said, that's what love looks like. Quick poll. If you found out your partner was your cousin, clap if you would break up with them. Okay. That's a lot of people. No, don't discuss. Fight in the car. Fight in the car. Okay, now, if you found out your partner was a robot, clap if you would break up with them. Oh, interesting. Bit of a drop-off over here. Some of us clap for cousin and not for robot. Okay, so we're going to abandon our family, but we'll keep fucking the toaster. Okay, well, that makes sense. I'm not. I'm running into obstacles I never thought I'd face. I got dumped by a polyamorous person. You ever been dumped by a polyamorous person? It sucks. It's like getting fired from a part-time job. They're like, you can't even work here Mondays and Tuesdays. Holy shit. I didn't think I was gonna like dating somebody poly. She was poly. I was busy. But it actually ended up being the most honest, transparent, communicative relationship I'd ever been in. And I was totally in love with her. And she dumped me because I worked too much. And let me tell you something, Grand Rapids. When I started dating a polyamorous person, I did not think it was going to end because my lifestyle didn't work for them. I know some of you don't believe me. You're like, there's no way you liked being poly, Taylor. You are not cool. You reek of monogamy. I bet you masturbate to Bridgerton. And you know what? I don't. I have, but I don't. That joke's not going in the special. There's no way. No. That's way too vulnerable to put on Netflix. We'll not be doing that. Unless it helps the algorithm. We'll have to talk about it. If Netflix was like, if you liked Bridgerton. Listen to that. Parents are so nice to their kids now. It's crazy. I mean, parents apologize to their children. Did you know apologies went that direction? Did you know you could drive backwards on the freeway? It's crazy town out there. The closest my parents ever got to apologizing was this. You're okay. You're all right. You're okay was code for don't call anybody. Let's just chalk this up to a whoopsie daisy. I think mistakes were made on both sides. Walk it off. I love you. My friends talk to their children like they're human beings, like they're equals. They get down here at eye level. They make eye contact. I didn't know the color of my father's eyes till I was 22 years old. And that's just because his license fell out of his wallet once. And they're just down here like, hey, buddy, how's the Lunchable treating you? Good? Awesome. Well, if you have any feedback for me, notes, input of any kind, I would love to hear it. You know why? Because it's your childhood. I'm just honored to be a part of it. Anybody recognize any part of that speech? My parents were amazing parents. I love them very much. They did a fantastic job. But they were old school, tough love, no coddling parents, all right? When I was 15, I told my dad, I'm very depressed. I need to see a therapist. I've been thinking about killing myself. And he took a knife out of the knife drawer, shook it over his head, and went, be my guest. And I was like, wow, I don't want you to fix it. I just want you to listen. The best part of that story is I brought it up to him recently, and he just goes, oh yeah, I remember that. I'm like, yeah, me too. Every week in therapy. He's like, hey, I called your bluff though, didn't I? Aha! Look who's not dead, drama queen. I'm like, okay. Touche, big guy, only on the inside. Am I laughing? I've been practicing. There's no healthy fear of your parents anymore. Nobody's scared of their parents. I was terrified of my parents. I never talked back to my mom except for once. She was spanking me in the church parking lot because you got to get rid of those demons before you enter the house of the Lord. So she's cleansing her soul, a little pre-communion. And halfway through, I go, that didn't hurt. And she went black in the eyes. And in a voice I'd never heard, goes, oh, well then we're gonna have to make it hurt. And for the rest of my childhood, wooden spoon. She went Martha Stewart on my ass. I still cannot watch the Food Network. Great British Bake Off doesn't calm me down. But I never talk back again. You try to spank a kid now, they'll laugh in your face. They'll be bent over on the iPhone you pay for, looking up reasons why you're a dickhead. Just think, really? You're gonna go through with this even though psychology today says that you're undermining my well-being long term? Oh, all right, Eileen, you stupid bitch. You do what you gotta do. I'll be down here playing Angry Birds and Googling how you live with yourself. By the time I have kids, they're going to be monsters. Just like, how dare you address me directly? Avert your eyes. And get out your boob. I'm hungry. The big one. I'm like, ugh, who gave you an accent? I had amazing parents. I have to keep saying that in case anyone here knows them. Anyone can come to these. I'm 25, and I don't want to party, I don't want to hook up, and I guess I'm not ready to get married, so what is left for me to do? Judge people, exactly. So I was on Facebook this week, just making sure my family's still racist, and that's a joke, I don't have to check. And I saw that a girl I went to high school with just got back from her honeymoon, and she posted that she's going to be taking a break from social media. Have you guys seen people do this? Yeah, these like heroes of the internet. Their big announcement, just, hear ye, hear ye. I will be taking a break from social media. #brave. It's like, dude, nobody wanted to see a picture of your sandwich on Wednesday. No one's going to miss it on Friday, all right? Also, why are you posting about the fact that you're going to stop posting soon? That's like toasting to the fact that you're going to quit drinking in the morning. You're not off to a great start, sweetheart. But this girl made a whole video for Instagram, Facebook, all of them. She's like, hey guys, so as you probably heard, I just got married. And I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from social media just to focus on my new wifely duties. Wifely duty. I'm like, you can't blow your husband and share cat videos? You have 2 hands, multitask. Like, get an apron. I thought it was weird though, so I played the video backwards. Sure enough, you play it backwards. She's like, I've made a huge mistake. Come pick me up. He's so boring. We're like, yeah, we know. We met him. He's the type of guy you get halfway home from the theme park before you're like, oh shit, where's Doug? Oh, no, we have to go back. My wallet's in his fanny pack, so. Oh, do not feel bad for Doug. He's terrible. Every time he tells a story, somewhere, a child loses a balloon. I went to their wedding. I'm so glad I did. I learned a lot. If you're single, go to as many weddings as possible so you can walk around just like, okay, not this. We watched her walk down the aisle for what felt like 45 minutes to an hour. Oh my God. These 20-something brides are really milking that walk. Just like. I'm a princess. It's like, you're a Bigfoot, speed it up, we have lives. I swear when I get married, I'm gonna jog a little bit down the aisle like I've been in a crosswalk too long. Just like, yeah, I see the numbers going down. I'm gonna have you out of here in 9 seconds. So she gets about halfway down. Everybody's like, she's an angel, she's beautiful. She looked okay. And you ever go to a wedding like, huh, that's your best, interesting. So don't be scared. Let it resonate with you. So she gets about halfway down, and I start getting antsy. So I go, you know what? I'm going to check out the groom. Because usually at this point in the ceremony, the groom's crying a little bit because she's so beautiful, he's so lucky, they made a mistake, whatever it is. It's part of the experience, and I wanted my money's worth. Those knives weren't cheap. So I look towards the front, not expecting like a blubbering mess of a man, just like a light produce aisle mist, you know? Like a respectful, let's keep those zucchinis damp type of deal. And he was dry as a bone, you guys. Nothing going on. Just another Tuesday for this asshole. It's cheaper to get married on Tuesday. And I thought to myself, wow, if that happens to me, I'm gonna stop my wedding. You know what? Cut the music. Just cut it real quick. Babe, come here. We're just gonna say miss him. Sidebar. So much fun. You need to get your shit together. I showed up. I have a spray tan. I'm wearing flavored underwear for you. Yeah, pot roast panties, just like your mom used to make, which is weird. That's a weird request, but I did it. Now we're gonna go back out. Don't look at them, look at me, I'm your future. You focus up, buddy, okay? Oh, don't start crying now, it's too late and too early. You save that up, because we're gonna go back out there and we're gonna get it right this time, aren't we? Yeah, we are, because if you don't, I will make your life a living hell. Do you understand me? I could bake you cookies every day, or I could make you miserable forever. I don't give a shit either way. I just need a project, motherfucker. But it is feelings like this that indicate I am not ready for marriage. You know, anytime I wasn't actively yearning for it, of course. Oh, good, some depression in the room, thank God. I did that joke in Sweden, they just stared at me. They were like, huh? Sad for no reason? But how? They didn't get it. A lot of this hour, Europe didn't get. They were like, God, we have healthcare. They give you God instead of healthcare? That doesn't seem like the same thing. If you have depression, you have a pretty complicated relationship with death. You sort of look at death like it's the Phantom of the Opera. Most of the time, you're like, oh, that's scary. But then sometimes you're like, I mean, that side of his face is kind of hot. Hear me out. I could live underground. I don't know. This section is sad. I've been trying to face my fear of death head on this past year. I wrote a will because a lot of my friends were getting married, and I was like, I want to sign a scary document. I learned so much. If you don't have a will, you got to write one with a professional. That panicked note you write on your phone during turbulence, that will not hold up in court. They taught me that. I thought for sure that was fine. Nope. Here's what I learned. I did not know this. If you die unexpectedly, your closest living relatives are your parents, not your siblings, which is what I thought because I'm dumb. So if you die unexpectedly, your parents will inherit everything you own, unless you disinherit them in writing, like the petty bitch you are, right? And I know some of you are sitting there right now going, well, whatever. I don't have a good relationship with my parents, Taylor, but I don't really have anything for them to inherit. Do you have a TV? Do you think your shitty dad deserves an extra TV? You think your death should feel like winning The Price is Right for him? Fuck that. Call a lawyer. I love my parents. I think if you expect your parents to be perfect, you're immature, okay? Parents aren't just like these magical, perfect beings. They're just people who suck like the rest of us. That's how we should introduce them. Just like, these are my people, Rhonda and Tim. They do what they can. My dad was very overprotective. He had 4 daughters, which means he was just like playing dick goalie. And you don't have to laugh. He hates that joke too. His biggest fear was that one of us would become sexually active before we got married, and some of us have been activated, so that's... Can't take this back to Best Buy. I spilled some stuff on it. On it, in it. The keys don't work. It's over. So... I would hate to be the father of 4 daughters. It seems very stressful. My younger sister's in college. She had lingerie delivered to my parents' house once because she's an idiot with an Amazon Prime account. And my dad opened the box because he's a middle-aged man who pays a mortgage. And if a box comes to his house... that's his box. He didn't talk to anybody about it. He just opened the box, freaked out, and then hid it behind a plant in his room. That was his solution, just like, oh. Well, she can't have sex without her underwear. I really respect my dad a lot. You know why? He was never a hypocrite. He was just as strict with himself as he always was with us. Like, we found porn on my dad's computer once, and it was like the porn of a good man. Like, I think he Googled missionary. Like, I don't even think he was looking for porn. I think he was trying to become a missionary, and he just got lost. The internet just duped him. He's like, that's not my wife. Why is she naked? I'm the only person who's ever found porn on their dad's computer and gained respect for him. It wasn't even porn. It was just a pop-up. And I know that sounds naive to say, but my dad doesn't watch porn. He won't even watch sex scenes in movies and TV shows. One came on in a theater once, and he marched out like it was a protest. He came back 40 minutes later. I was like, wow, remind me to high-five Mom. I'm like, where were you? You missed half the movie. He's like, well, we're not at home. You can't fast forward. And I was like, you fast forward through sex scenes in your own house? He's like, damn straight. God is everywhere. And I said, bless your heart, you deserve to see some boobs that you're not married to every once in a while. So I bought him Game of Thrones on DVD. I said, you can't fast forward. They're talking while they're naked. It's important. I'm so glad I was raised by my dad. I mean, I think I'm so much like him. He's made me the person I am. He's the reason I do stand-up. I don't watch porn, not because I'm against it. I just never got into it, you know? In the same way some adults didn't read Harry Potter, you missed your letter to Hogwarts. I have a friend, hates it. She's like, I hate pornography, Taylor. She calls it pornography, like a loser. And I said, why is that? And she goes, because it sets unrealistic expectations for men and women. It's so unrealistic. I'm like, have you seen porn? It's like very realistic. Like they are fucking. Like what? I think you saw Star Wars. And she goes, no, Taylor, it's unrealistic because those women aren't even finishing, okay? They're faking it. And I was like, yeah, it's super realistic. Isn't that what we're all doing? Fake it till you make it. Back to your place to finish yourself off. Am I right? That's a joke. I've never faked it. I've never loved someone that much. Yeah. I don't hand out trophies for showing up. Grab an orange slice and a Gatorade. Get back down there. Let's see some hustle, Anderson. You guys were absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I've been working on anxiety in therapy. That's been my main focus for the last few years. Anybody have anxiety? Does anybody struggle with panic attacks? Has anyone ever gone to the emergency room for anxiety or panic attacks? Oh, a few of us. Look at that. What do we think was happening? Heart attack? Yeah. And then you get there and they're like, oh, it's actually your mind that's attacking you. Yeah. I'll make you feel better. I went to the emergency room once because I fell asleep in AirPods, woke up, couldn't find one, thought I swallowed it. You meant you drove halfway there and it turned around because it was silly? Nope, went the whole way. Got seen. I wish I could pretend this story happened a really long time ago, but the technology involved makes that impossible. So I've always had a lot of trouble sleeping, my entire life. And before AirPods came out, I would fall asleep in regular headphones, listening to a podcast or a movie, something to calm me down. And before AirPods came out, headphones had cords on them. So if you swallowed one of those, you just pull it out like a magician's scarf. No big deal. But then they came out with AirPods, so I started falling asleep in those. And so a few years ago, doesn't matter how many, I fell asleep in 2 AirPods, woke up in 1 AirPod, and was like, well, obviously I swallowed it. Like a baby or a dog. Convinced my sister to take me to the emergency room, ruining Christmas morning for everyone. So we get to the emergency room in our hometown where I have to tell 3 grown women at the front desk what I'm doing there. I'm like, well, you probably get this all the time. But it would seem that I may have, inadvertently, in my sleepy sleeps, swallowed an AirPod? And they were like, an AirPod, sweetie, those are pretty big, right? Those are big. You really think you could have swallowed an air? I said, how about we don't have a team discussion about what I can and can't swallow, okay? And they're like, wow, someone was ugly in middle school. We'll take you back. So they take me back. We're waiting for a doctor, which, by the way, I don't know what I thought a doctor was going to do if I had, in fact, swallowed an AirPod. They're not going to perform surgery. They're going to go, oh, my God, yeah, it's in there. Well, stop at Taco Bell on the way home. Good luck. Taco Bell, good for every occasion. I don't know what I thought the AirPod was going to do to me damage-wise in there. I'm like, what if it's still charged? What if it electrocutes my intestines or starts playing Glee covers and everyone can hear? My sister's like, you deleted them all. I'm like, not all of them. Some of them are bangers. Before a doctor can come in to see us, my other sister calls us from home and goes, hey, yeah, we found it in the pillowcase. Does Crazy want to come home and have pancakes now? I'm so embarrassed. I want to sneak out the back as quickly as possible. I'm like, let's just go. Let's just leave. And my sister's like, you can't just disappear. They're going to think something bad happened. I was like, something bad did happen. Let's go. She's like, that's an emergency exit. I'm like, it's an emergency room. It's probably a regular exit. Let's leave. But here's my problem with the emergency room. When you are having an anxiety or panic attack, it is your only option, which is why I think they need to open a second option right next door called the anxiety room. All right? So you have the ER and the AR. And the ER is where you go when you've been shot, stabbed, you are actively bleeding. That's where you go. You fill out all that complicated paperwork because that seems like the time to do it. And then the AR is where you go when you're like, I don't know where the bad is, but it's in me somewhere. It's either cancer or the devil, but I have to get it out. And that is just one fill-in-the-blank form that says, I know that it is probably fine, but... my bones feel itchy. I don't know! I just need someone in a white coat to tell me I'm stupid. I know I mentioned during... I do like having sex with men sometimes. I will say, does anyone like sucking dick for real? Does anyone really? Yeah, oh wow, good for you. Just a quiet hand raise. That's beautiful. That's so nice. Wow, heroes among us. Good for you. I like sucking dick the way I like going for a run. I'm proud of myself after. But during, I'm always like, why'd I do this? I didn't have to do this. There's other ways to get where I'm going. But then afterwards, I'm always like, wow, the power of the human spirit. Really is all mind over matter out there. But then during, I'm like, people should be throwing little cups of water on me for being so brave. But then afterwards, I'm like, nice. Got my time down. We're trying to get faster, not better. I remember I was so scared to start going down on women. And then I went down on a girl for the first time and I was like, oh my God, that was so much better. I was so mad at my whole life. I was like, you're telling me this whole time I could have been licking ice creams. And instead I've been swallowing swords? Could have been living like a child on the boardwalk. Instead I've been living like a carny with something to prove. Not that I'm like killing it at queer dating.